Recruiter here, the Headless Headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is, I don't know, you didn't tell me. You've made the most critical mistake a person can make when searching for a job, not just a software engineer. Literally everybody. The most critical mistake you can make is not being specific in what you are searching for. This person just stated software engineer. Well, corporate-wise, software engineers are broken down into multiple stacks. That is front-end, back-end, Python, back-end Java, back-end C#, and full stack. Are there more than that? Yes, but they're rare and we're probably not going to be searching for them. So I'm going to pick one of those randomly. Python, let's just do Python developer. But if this is the first time you've ever watched this video, don't ever be unspecific. Resumes are highly, highly specific. And if you're applying for a specific role, what you need to do is find the job title of that specific role, find about 10 to 15 other job titles of that role that have good qualifications, use those to build your resume. And that is how you will get a job. Again, not just software, literally everybody. There is differences between, say, let's say a cashier and somebody at a restaurant, like a server. While they both do require customer service, some require more food handling, some require more sales, some require different types of customer service and multitasking. So pick your job title or else you will get rejected. So I'm going to assume this is a Python because, again, I think Python engineers are one of the more common ones. And I'm going to try to find it in 20 seconds. If I can find it in 20 seconds, good job. You did a good job with your resume. If not, then you are going to get yeeted and deleted, which is the only amount of time that recruiters have. I really wish we had more time to spend on each resume, but 20 seconds is all of it. So this is what I'm looking for. Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, its words, AWS, GCP, Azure, RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and one of these, full stack, NumPy, DevOps, Flask API, Flask, and Django, and a bonus for Kubernetes, ETL, MongoDB, and Java. And my dog is chewing on a toy very loudly. Yes, you are. Can you wait until I finish the video? Okay, you're very cute, sir. But anyway, let's see, 20 seconds, and go. All right, hard to read. Degree, okay, Python, good. What is a harmonization scheduling? What is this? What does this even mean? Why is this important? Why did you put this here? What? Is this a software engineer? Okay, PyShark. It's at least something. Okay, yeah, completely. No, this would not work. I would reject this. I have no idea what this person actually is. They stated, I got a interview in Amazon through a referral, but did not go through, but it did not work. Other than that, I have not received any other interview. Well, yeah, because this resume is very, very, very bad. I'm not saying that you are bad or that your skills are bad. I'm saying your resume is bad. I really don't know what I'm looking at here, right? Like, you have filled this with stuff that you would need a PhD to understand, or probably a very specific bachelor's like this. But I would challenge anybody in 20 seconds to find this stuff, which we're actually looking for, in here. Like, I did find Python, which is good, but what is a rate monotonic earliest deadline first rate harmonized scheduling RHS, a strategy for aligning task execution to fixed interviews? Why is that relevant for a Python developer? Why is that relevant for a C# developer? Why is that relevant for a Java developer? I don't know, but it's not. Although I will say, while this is a terrible resume, you did do something correct, which is if you have something that is like this long, and you do want to do what they did here, which is write it out fully first, then here put it in parentheses, and then for the rest of the resume you can use parentheses. So while I would not be looking for RHS at all, good job on how you wrote it, because that is actually what I would have told people to do anyway. So that is very good. But the rest of this is just like, what is this, right? Like, how did you use this stuff? There's nothing here, unfortunately. I get that you're going for a master's in artificial intelligence, but like, I am currently recruiting for a couple of startups that are AI focused first, and some of them require very specific stacks. Some of them are stack agnostic, which is very rare, but this would probably not pass at any of it because, again, you filled this with random stuff. I'm not looking for identified inefficient web page elements that increase loading times by 25%. I'm looking for used Python, SQL, Docker, and Git in an AWS environment with EC2 to create our company's web page, right? Like, that's what I'm looking for. This is nothing. You're not getting any interviews because, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you do. There's almost nothing here that would actually signify that you are a software developer amongst the common roles. Now, maybe if you're applying to some, like, weird statistical thing, yeah, but, you know, we can't use it here, okay? Now, I will say, this is great. Keep this. Keep your fluency in multiple languages. But the rest of this skills section I don't need. I cannot use anything that is here. Anything that is here does not count as a qualification. So what you're going to need to do, right, to recap, first off, your formatting's bad, very hard to read. You're going to fix it into this. I need you to make this how your resume looks. It is in the link below. It is on my website. It is free. This is how you do it. Fix this formatting to make it look like this. Then I need you to write bullet points that are actually related to the roles that you are applying to. Now, if you are looking for Python roles and C# roles, then you need a separate resume for each of those. One is going to be a Python resume. One is going to be a C# .NET, whatever resume. But right now, this is filled with a bunch of random words and percentages that means absolutely nothing to the hiring team. So this is why you are not getting moved forward without a referral, is because this resume tells us literally nothing. If anything, I would say you should probably delete the whole thing with the exception of the languages and start again. So that's all I can do for this. It is a garbage resume, but again, you are not garbage. I want to be very clear. I routinely go to hiring managers and tell them, hey, you don't want to miss out on this hire just because the only skill they don't have is knowing how to write a good resume. So while this is a terrible garbage resume that should be burned and it is a nightmare and I despise it with all my heart and soul, I do not hate you. I think you need help and I am here to get it. And if you ever need more help, you can join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. PST. I just said that. I am tired. That is where I go over these qualifications and I help people out a little bit more. So like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your other friends that are job seekers that need help. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. So what I'm looking for in a data engineer is... also, I do more resumes than just tech. Just tech is in a downturn right now. That's why most of them are tech. So, but I've definitely done like human resources and all that stuff. So what we need is Python, ETL, ELT, Scala, data, algorithm, SQL, big data, Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, Bear, please stop chewing. Snow, Snowflake, Snowpipe, Snowsite, the ability to manage and communicate technical data plans to non-technical people, the industry, and cloud, and anything involving like data lake, data models, data analytics, that kind of stuff. So let's see if I can find it and go. All right, where's your education? I don't know if you graduated and I can't use anything here. Okay, Azure is good, but you said Azure NLP, so I can't use it. RAG could be a bonus. CI/CD would be useful for industry. There's literally nothing else there. Did I miss anything? I think GitHub, no. And that's time. Yeah, this would be a rejection. So they had almost nothing I needed. Because remember, if it's in a skills section or a summary, I cannot use it. The only time you want a summary is if you are relocating, if you are changing industries, or you need to explain a visa. Otherwise, I do not need a summary, and I can't use anything in the skills section. So they said, I started out wanting to be a mathematician, but shifted to data near the end of my degree. After graduating, I quickly realized how competitive and saturated data scientist roles are. Yeah, that's true. So I pivoted to data engineering for a more stable AI-proof career. That's why my resume may seem scattered, but I know recruiters only spend seconds on it. I didn't think it seemed scattered. It just doesn't have the relevant stuff. On a personal note, I'm driven to help communities with data service and math. Good. While also fueling my own technical interests. I appreciate blunt, direct feedback, so please let me know where I can improve to stand out. I mean, the biggest issue here is your resume just doesn't have anything I need for an actual data engineer. It doesn't show it because you put it all into a skills section and everything I highlighted doesn't count. I am a U.S. citizen actively looking for data engineering Jobs or internships? Okay. The resume that gets you a full-time job is not going to be the same resume as an internship. You cannot use that resume. A internship resume is very, very specific and different than the full-time role that internship gives. So if you are using this for internships, yes, 1,000% I know why. If you are using this for regular data engineerings, I also know why. But those are two separate resumes. You cannot use the same for both. I want to prove to recruiters that I work hard. We do not care. I'm not saying mean to do that. I mean, you cannot prove you work hard besides showing up on your start date and staying for the amount of time. Because I learn quickly, even if I don't know everything. Although I only have one data engineering project, I'm volunteering in the field and excelling. That's good. So again, you can use the volunteer experience. That is something that can be used. I've already made an impact and I know I can do more. I think you probably can. It's just your resume is not showing it because you're trying to brag. You're trying to show how knowledgeable you can be, not what you've done. If given the chance, okay, so yeah. I mean, right? Like, that's kind of the problem is this just has nothing I need, right? I'm not looking for... I need this stuff to be in here. And when we actually go into this, I don't know why BERT topic LLMs are needed. I do know LLMs are large language models, and the fact that AI is booming means LLMs are probably a bonus, but the rest of this isn't. Like, you tried to brag, right? Like, even in how you wrote it to me, you stated, in fact, I think this is a prime example, is I am driven to help communities with data service and math while fueling my own technical interests. And the fact is, that's good, right? Like, I don't want you to stop doing that, but I don't care if I'm reviewing your resume. None of that is related to me reviewing your resume. I want you to keep doing it as a person, but as a recruiter, it has nothing relevant for this role because I don't see anything. Oh, here it is down here at the projects, ETL. No one's going to get that far down. Jeez. Okay, so let's see what you are missing here. So first off, Python. Let's see, Python. Nope, no. You only have it here. That's definitely bad. ETL, I think I saw it down there. Yeah, okay, no one's going to get there. Like, this is the case where you may want your projects above your experience. Also, you need to fix your formatting. But you tried to write like you're trying to impress me, and I need you to stop. I'm not going to be impressed. I am happy that you are helping your community, but that is, unless you can show me how that is relevant to the role, it doesn't really matter for the role. Keep doing it though. Keep helping your community. Lee, as a person, wants you to keep doing it. Lee, as the recruiter, is telling you not to put it on your resume. Like, some of this stuff I'm looking for, but like, why do I care about building a smart QA system? Designing a data lake, okay, good, I actually need that. Using MinIO, why do I need that? And PostgreSQL, I can use a SQL. To integrate batch pipes with dashboards. Yeah, if anything, you just need to, like, move this below. Fix the formatting. But I need you to not write your resume like you were writing to me. Because you're trying to tell your story. And I'm going to be blunt with you. You don't tell your story through a resume. You don't. If you tell your story through your resume, the only story you're going to tell is how you got rejected through that job. Now, in the interview, maybe you should do that, but not in the resume. So I need you, and this is me being blunt, is to focus on only things that are relevant to the role, because there's so much stuff here that is irrelevant that I just don't care about. So let's go to the next resume. This is a manufacturing engineer resume. So what I'm looking for is your degree. I'm looking for the industry you've worked in, so like aerospace or trains or whatever, and then the type of product, which is more specialized, so like aerospace robots or maritime engines or whatever. So what you like, the industry overall and the type of product you worked on. Then I'm going to need some of these. I do not need all of these. I want to be clear. I just need like 1 to 3 from this list is PLC, CAD, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, ISO, Pro E, GMP, DOE, Gauge, R&R, Spec, MES, ERP, and PLM. And truthfully, probably a couple of others. I don't think I could possibly capture all of those, but it's basically the manufacturing processes in whatever you're doing. Then lean manufacturing principles and continuous principle improvement methodologies, and I can actually take Vision out. That was incorrect. But Microsoft Office, Excel, PowerPoint, MS Project. They were in a couple of them. You need it. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. Let's go. All right. Okay, can't see anything here. Oh, developed high precision tool and parts GDT. I think that might have been one of the one. That's actually not a terrible, but it's still not a lot. What industry was this? This is hard to read. Okay, SolidWorks. It's not terrible, but okay. So yeah, this would probably get rejected. I just did not see enough. Oh, here's SolidWorks. Okay, well, I don't know if I need 2 of these. So your resume's formatting is slightly off, right? Like, you don't want all of this. The education inserts should be about three lines max. I think you could combine these 2 together. Again, I don't know if I need SolidWorks Additive and SolidWorks Associate. Just put the most impressive one for that. The rest of the formatting is okay. The problem is, though, I didn't really see a ton of what I needed. So, high precision tools and parts for what? Also, what is GD&T? This might be something I'm looking for, but it may be that the recruiter doesn't know. Again, it's been like 5 years or more than 5 years since I've actually had to do one of these types of roles. Yeah, what is this? Geometric dimensioning and tolerance? I don't know if there actually is looking for that. What about AutoCAD? What about, you do have SolidWorks. What about ISO? What about general, like, standard manufacturing principles? I need some of that stuff. It's still a little bit too complicated. And gosh, this has both not enough information and too much information. So, like, communicated across teams to trouble fix and shoot uncommon is mechanical and electrical issues is not enough information. I need more than that. What were the issues? Why were they important? What were the issues? What was the product you were diagnosing? Fixing is good, but, like, was it fixing uncommon mechanical engine issues and electrical issues for our engine in our aerospace plane? I don't know. But I don't care about $400 saved in parts. Creating documentation is good, but this part I don't really care about. So, again, it's not like this is the worst resume ever, but it just does not have enough of what I need while simultaneously having too much extraneous stuff. So let's see what this person says. Been applying on and off for a couple of months before and after graduation. I've had 2 over the phone interviews so far. Out of a 1 to 75 is not great, but it's not the worst, which is basically what I called. So you need more detail, right? I need more detail. I need to know that you've done manufacturing principles. It doesn't necessarily have to be lean, but, like, what about good manufacturing principles have you done? Which I think is what GMP stands for, actually. What about continuous improvement? Where's the MS Office and Excel? I see it down here. Okay. But I'm not going to go that far. So you need to shrink this. You need to, again, have more of these and less of the extraneous ones. And you should have more of a chance. Now, I will say we are approaching November. We are in November, and the recruitment market shuts down hard on the week before Thanksgiving, basically until January the 10th, give or take. Whatever the second week of January is. So even with a perfect resume, your ratio does not matter, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview. So in about a week from when I recorded this, which may be when this is posted, don't panic if all of a sudden you were getting 1 in 50 and now you're getting like 200 applications to one interview. That's common. Seriously, the November drought of recruitment is November to January drought. Very common. Don't panic. You may get nothing, and that's normal. But on the plus side, in January, biggest hiring boom of the year. So for this person, to reiterate, I need more of these things and less of whatever this is. Like, I don't care you saved $400. That's a drop in a bucket. You may barely make that at, like, that's like absolutely nothing. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of, I don't know who John Pork is. Can somebody explain John Pork? I've heard it's just like a brain rot meme, which is fine. Millennials had brain rot memes as well. If any of us millennials say, oh, we didn't, y'all are lying to yourselves. We had plenty. Like Neon Cat. Yeah, That was brain rot. But I want to know who John Pork is, because it's not the first time I've been called that. Or Technoblade. Yes, anyway. So this person is a software engineer intern. So what we're looking for in an intern is very basic, not crazy, is degree, basic knowledge of the tech stack. So again, for a software engineer, this would be like Java and maybe Spring Boot, SQL, Cloud, and RESTful APIs. And the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. This person has a 1 in 100 ratio, which is not good. Ideally, your ratio should be under 1 in 50. So let's see if I can find it, although based on that ratio, probably not much. And go. All right. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Yeah, there's nothing here. Don't care about... Oh, Python. Okay. Yeah, nothing. Python, pandas. Okay, that one's at least okay. What is fuzzy search? Yeah, and TypeScript. So yeah, this would get rejected for, well, it basically meets none of these requirements except the degree. So this is fine, right? The degree is fine. There's no real change you need to make. If possible, make it into one line because you want it to look like this, but that's not a huge deal. You don't want to bold anything here, and you don't want these little underlines. But a bigger problem beyond the formatting, and I want to be very clear, people are like, oh, I have great formatting, why am I getting rejected, is formatting is like 30% of your grade, right? If you don't have good enough formatting, you may fail, but the bullet points are the real crux of if you're going to get an interview or not. So that's why I try not to focus too hard on formatting, is that yes, this is bad formatting. Yes, it does hurt your chances, but a bigger issue is the fact that you show me you have done almost nothing software engineer, right? Like, again, I cannot use this. You have to write it down here. And I'm not looking for internationalization, language translation tooling, accelerating their content localization process by 40%. That means nothing. Stop with all these percentages. Unless you're in sales or you're a high-level director, you don't want any percentages. Very rarely will you be forced to put in numbers, and I will tell you this, the more numbers you have, the worse your chances, not counting dates of employment. So stop doing this. You are trying to impress me, right? You're trying to say high severity faults by 25%, and I uplifted the test to coverage by 85, but I'm not looking for that, right? I'm looking for met weekly with engineering team leads where we went over my code in Java, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, where they gave feedback on how to improve it for next meeting. That alone would probably get you an internship. This is just a random collection of keywords which we're not sourcing, which we're not looking for. Again, a qualification is what you did, how you did it, and the reason or result of you doing it, and where you did it, which is why the skill sections don't count, and this doesn't fully count. It's because you don't tell me how you did it and the reason or result of you doing it. Now, the reason and result people confuse for impact. I'm not looking for reduced severity faults. I'm just saying, like, fixed up our company's front page so that customers had reduced latency when they clicked a button. That's it. You don't have to tell me percentage based, because, like, who's actually keeping track of content localization process by 40%? I don't care that you analyze 10,000 multimodal data points, acoustic signals. That's not what I'm looking for. So I need you to boil this down to this, because if it's not this, it's not relevant, right? Like, again, I know this is impressive, but you're trying to impress me, and I just don't care. So I need you to make it relevant, because if it's not relevant, it doesn't matter. Let's go to the next resume. This is another internship resume. So same thing. Also, this person doxed themselves, so I cannot scroll past this part. Please don't dox yourself. We were doing so well. Thought we were going to go through a whole video with no doxing. Anyway, let's go. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Okay. Can't use anything here. Okay, React. What? Opening, loading time? I don't care about loading time. What is a scrappy tool? Maybe SEO for front end, but an Excel and sales targets? What? None of that is relevant. Okay, yeah, there's absolutely nothing here. This person did not tell me anything other than they have a 1 in 50 ratio, which is terrible. But yeah, I can see why this is a terrible resume. Like, this is not what I'm looking for. Now, here's the funny thing is you can use this as related experience, right? Working together with others, taking direction and criticism, that is something you can actually put as another job, even if there's no software engineering stuff. But this person failed because they tried to impress me by how much they sold. Why do I care about that? You're a software engineer. You're not selling anything. This is completely irrelevant. Oh, here it is. Awarded employee for customer service sales performance. This is actually a solid bullet point. The problem is no one's going to get all the way down to here because your formatting's so bad. So fix your formatting. Maybe put this a little higher up, right? This one's okay. It can be up here. But even for this is not the stuff I'm looking for. Now, I do know you were specifically going for a Java internship, which is fine. But I need actual Java. Like, you tell me you're going for a Java internship, and I don't see any Java. Where is any of the Java? Again, nothing here counts. Cannot use anything here. Where is the Java here? Or here? Or here? Or here? And there's none even further on. So yeah, this is your problem, is you're saying, I'm going to be a Java engineer. I'm like, okay, what are your minimum qualifications? You say, I exceeded sales targets by 120%. Cool. That's not related to Java engineering. Repeatedly awarded Employee of the Month for excellence in customer service and sales. Customer services. I don't care about sales performance, but customer services. That's actually something you can have. And in fact, it's not even terrible to delete these and only have this as the bullet point where it just said repeatedly awarded Employee of the Month for excellence in customer service. That is the only part of this that is qualified. So you don't even need to do the rest of it. You just have that. Less is more. But in this case, less is also not enough because I don't see anything about Java. There's literally nothing here about Java. Like, missing something? So yeah, this is your problem. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Thank you all for watching. If you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I'm here to help you all get a job. And, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends that need help. And I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.